Just about to the end of the road here, and whenever you come to this, and you're facing a bunch of students, try to figure out what's the one thing. If you could only teach one thing, what would it be? And I guess the one thing would be, and it's a very dangerous lesson because it can be twisted, turned, and so if you bear with me for 3 or 4 minutes, and even though you've turned off sometimes in class, please listen to this. Emerson summed it up in 2 words: trust yourself. Now, a lot of times people are saying, I'm being an individualist, when they're just following another crowd. We saw that in the 60s, where you had a group of kids that said, well, I'm going to be myself. And then they dressed like about 5 million others who were just being themselves, and talked like another 5 million just being themselves. And they were rebelling against one group of conformists and becoming conformists themselves. If you look at something, you say, I'm going against that, I'm going to be different than that. You're no different than the person that's being exactly like that. Because whatever that is making up your mind for you, what you're going to be. We've talked about it before, where I got the idea of God Love You Productions. There's something inside you that is ingenious, that loves you a great deal. And you know how much I've talked to you about recognizing the love your parents have, but not even they love you as much as what it is. I mean, think of the miracle of digestion. You think, okay, no. You got $1 billion, you couldn't buy a laboratory or hire the scientist to do for you what is being done for you free. You dream of having a stereo. Look at the one you got for free. You think about going to Kodak and buying a Canon camera. Never duplicate the ones on either side of your nose. You don't give expensive, wonderful, miraculous gifts to somebody you hate. So something in this universe loves you a great deal. And if it does, then you must be worth a great deal yourself. If ever you say, Robert Linden was telling me, came across a graduate from Oak that had been involved in GLY. In fact, his leadership type position at Los Al, messing around with cocaine. And Robert said, how could you do it? And she said, what I believe is the stupidest thing any human being can ever say. Well, everybody else is doing it. Which means it's okay to kill Jews in Nazi Germany because everybody else was doing it. It's okay to lynch people who are of a different race because everybody else was doing it. That is the worst reason in the world to ever do anything. You can be yourself, and sometimes being yourself means you agree with everybody around you, and sometimes it means you disagree with everybody. But that self that you are can never leave you. That's the one you've got to be true to before anything else, as long as you're honest. Don't sell out to a crowd and say, well, I'm being myself. And that self that sends white corpuscles to fight off disease when you cut yourself, that self knows what job you should do, what dream you should pursue. You were not put here on this earth to be miserable. You were not put here to be unfulfilled. One last thing. Every desire that we have, if we're thirsty, think about it, there's water. We're hungry, there's food. We're lonely, there's other people. We wouldn't have the desire unless there was the fulfillment. And if way down deep in the bottom of your soul, you want to be something, then that must mean you can really be it. If it's something that you work at for fun. I hear kids say, well, I want to be a doctor, but they don't study in their science classes. They like the income of a doctor, but they don't really want to be a doctor. What they want to be is what they do in their spare time. what they would do for free because it's fun. You made my life fun this year. And as the years pass, any of the bad memories will fall away. And these special moments, you've been to a mountaintop. You, as Mark said, you've experienced love with each other. You stood at a time when it wasn't cool and said, hey, I love you. Guys have hugged each other without any fear of being called gay. And we've used the word love without a fear of any of the giggles. The main thing, you'll forget the quotes, you'll forget the vocabulary. Don't forget what you did. And above all, don't forget who you are. And make sure you tell each other you love each other. Especially those two people whose whole lives are dedicated to you, your mom and dad. Will the 8th graders come up for the farewell, please?